Nobody sees the part where you stop being okay. They see you answer the message. They see you smile at the right moment. They see you nod, work, help, laugh, explain, continue. They see the version of you that knows how to behave when someone is watching, but they do not see what happens later. They do not see you sitting in your room with the light off, still wearing the same clothes, unable to explain why the whole day suddenly feels too heavy. They do not see your face when it no longer has to look normal. They do not see the silence after you've spent all day sounding fine. And that is what makes it so confusing, because if you can hold yourself together around people, why do you feel so close to falling apart when you are finally alone? Maybe being around people does not prove you're okay. Maybe it only gives you something to perform for. Maybe the room gives you a role, the conversation gives you a script, and someone else's presence gives your nervous system a reason to keep everything hidden for just a little longer. There's a kind of strength that does not look like strength while it's happening. It looks like being normal. It looks like replying with the right tone when your chest feels tight, finishing the task when your mind is far away, asking someone else how they are when you haven't checked in with yourself all day. From the outside, this can look like stability, but inside it may feel more like holding a door shut with your whole body while pretending your hands are free. For some people, the day is a long act of emotional management. You manage your voice so it doesn't shake. You manage your face so it doesn't invite questions. You manage your answers so they don't sound too heavy. You manage your tiredness so nobody feels responsible for it. And because you've done this so many times, it can become automatic. You may not even call it hiding. You may just call it getting through. But getting through still costs something. Every time you swallow a reaction, some part of you has to store it. Every time you say it's fine when it's not fine, some part of you has to carry the difference. Every time you turn your real answer into the easier answer, your body learns to wait. It waits until there is no audience left, no one to reassure, no one to protect from your real state. That's why the moment alone can feel sudden. You may walk through the door and feel the whole day land on you at once. Your shoulders drop before you even understand why. Your face goes blank because it no longer has to hold its public shape. You may cry without a clear reason, or you may feel nothing at all, which can be just as frightening. The silence doesn't create the feeling. The silence only removes the noise that helped you ignore it. This does not mean you were pretending in a simple way. Your smile may have been real. Your kindness may have been real. Your patience, your humor, your ability to help others may all be real. But they may not have been the whole truth. Sometimes a person can be sincere and still be contained. Sometimes you can genuinely care about the people around you and still use their presence to stay upright. The hidden pattern is not that you are fake around others. It is that you may have learned to become safer for everyone else before you learned how to be honest with yourself in real time. You learned when to soften your tone, when to say less, and how to read the room before reading your own body. You learned that if you stayed pleasant, useful, calm, or easy to understand, life became a little less complicated. For some people, this begins quietly. Maybe strong emotions were not welcomed. Maybe needing comfort made you feel exposed. Maybe anger led to distance, sadness created discomfort, or honesty brought consequences you did not know how to handle. Maybe nobody directly told you to hide what you felt, but you noticed what made people stay close and what made them pull away. Over time, you may have built a version of yourself that could keep connection by delaying anything that might disturb it. And later, that version follows you into adult life. You answer calmly when you want to disappear. You say no problem when it is a problem. You listen to someone else's pain while your own pain waits quietly in the corner. You look reliable, but part of what people call reliability may be your ability to postpone yourself until a more private moment. This is why being alone may not always feel peaceful at first. For someone who postpones emotion, solitude is not automatically rest. It is the first place where the postponed material returns. The frustration you explained away, the loneliness you did not want to name, the exhaustion you hid behind being helpful. When all of it comes back, it can feel like you are falling apart, but sometimes you are only meeting the feelings you kept outside the door all day. The more capable you seem, the easier it is for people to miss you. They may not notice your tiredness because you still show up. They may not ask the second question because your first answer sounds convincing. Over time, you may become known for the version of yourself that handles things, while the version of you that needs care only appears behind closed doors. And the goal is not to shame that public version of you. It helped you survive difficult days, avoid unnecessary conflict, stay connected, and protect yourself from reactions you were not ready to handle. The problem begins when control becomes the only way you know how to exist around other people. A small shift can begin with noticing the difference between calm and contained. Calm feels spacious. Contained feels tight. Calm lets you breathe. Contained keeps checking whether your breathing is bothering anyone. When you notice that difference, you may understand that your private heaviness is not random. It may be the natural result of spending too many hours looking calmer than you felt. You do not have to announce every feeling the moment it appears. Not every emotion needs witnesses. But it matters to stop treating the private version of you like an inconvenience. It matters to notice when you only feel allowed to be real after everyone leaves. It matters to ask why the safest place for your truth is always the place where nobody can respond to it. One question can be enough to begin. When you are finally alone and the heaviness arrives, instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" ask, "What did I not let myself feel today?" Maybe you did not let yourself feel hurt. Maybe you did not let yourself feel angry. Maybe you did not let yourself feel how tired you were of being easy. Maybe you did not let yourself feel that you needed comfort because needing comfort felt more vulnerable than giving it. Because you are allowed to be capable and still need care. You are allowed to function and still be overwhelmed. You are allowed to laugh during the day and cry later without deciding that one version must be false. The person who holds it together in public is real. The person who sits in silence afterward is real too. The pain begins when only one of them is allowed to be seen. So, if you act fine until you are alone, maybe you are not broken, and maybe you are not pretending in the way you fear. Maybe you are tired from being the version of yourself that knows how to survive being watched. Maybe the silence after the day is not proof that you failed. Maybe it is proof that something in you has been working hard for a long time and finally has permission to rest. And if this felt familiar, stay with Hidden Patterns and subscribe. There is more to understand about the parts of yourself you learned to hide and the quiet ways they still ask to be seen.